Have you ever wanted to explore the world of Irish mythology? Now you can. Powered by the 5th edition of the world's greatest role-playing game, the Heroes of Tara Player's Guide contains 3 new classes, rules for chariot driving, headhunting, curses with meaningful consequences, and many more features, all dedicated to bringing the ancient world of Irish legend to vivid life on the gaming table. Get your copy on drivethrurpg.com today.
Centuries ago, a war was fought, and Regoria was destroyed. But in a last-ditch effort, there was one elf who buried a little bit of magic.
Guarantee anyone will find it.
Let's hope someone does.
And now, one young man
Pops, what is this?
will have to end a war started long before his time.
Can't run!
Can't! This spell has taken hold. This is the last possible chance this world may have.
Echoes of Regoria, now available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hey y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names.
This episode was recorded at Gen Con 2025.
We hear about all the games and events the guys experience,
While they were at Gen Con,
plus the Strike tournament results and even a couple of taste buds.
while they were at Gen Con.
Jealous much? Hello and welcome to episode number 356 of Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This is our special Gen Con episode. Therefore, we are not talking about any music or anything like that. We're strictly talking about Gen Con. I'm Tony.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is Marty.
Okay. I'm cutting to the chase.
Cutting to the chase. For those who've never listened before, what we do is each night at Gen Con from Wednesday through Saturday, we kind of give an overview on what we saw for the day, things that we did, games that we saw, etc. So the goal is to shoot for 20 minutes per segment. We'll just see how it goes. Thursdays usually run a little bit longer because that's our strike event. Usually one person wants to talk about it more than the other, but we'll worry about that tomorrow night. So we woke up doing our typical thing on Wednesday, which is
setting up the portal booth, one of my favorite things to do at Gen Con. We were ready to go. We showed up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. We headed over to the convention center. We were ready to go. We looked towards the boss man, Chevy Dodd, to give us instructions, and off we went.
I really want to say real quick before we go on any further, my pop filter for my mic fell off, so I apologize. I'm trying not to get it too close to my mouth to hear all the popping peas. So I will do my best for that. So yes, so we got the booth set up. Unfortunately, if you've been following Ignacy and Portal Games on YouTube, etc., the big Gen Con release, Age of Galaxies, did not make it in time. They are doing pre-orders here. They are doing demos, but you cannot pick it up here.
Right. And they've also got a lot of Robinson to pick up if you haven't done that yet. I mean, Chevy brought in a lot of good stock, to definitely make up for that. And, you never do know. You might be able to pick up some good deals over at their booth, but you're not here. You're listening to it after it's all over, so you didn't get that chance.
So we got the booth set up actually pretty quick, probably in record time. Mm-hmm. And it was really hot in there. They do not have the air conditioner on during this time because they have the outer doors open, etc. And typically run it once we get set up, we'll, kind of walk around for the bit during the day, say hey to people. After doing this for 13 years, you make a lot of friends and stuff like that with publishers, and you go around, tell people, hey, how you been doing, and give them some moon pies.
That's it. Now, we did see a very crushing accident.
Oh my gosh. I should have taken a picture of this. Why didn't I take a picture of this?
Because you were heartbroken.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, you've got all these vehicles running around, forklifts, cherry pickers, all that stuff happening. And we're walking in, and there was this forklift, and unfortunately, it had a slight accident. And it was not slight.
A large wooden crate?
It had to be as tall as I am, 6 feet or more.
Yes, large wooden crate that was on the forks, tilted over, and fell off the forks onto a stack of games at
Board and Dice.
Board and Dice.
Crushed them.
Oh, it was so sad. It was brutal. I don't know how they were handling this. This isn't ding and dent. This is just destroyed.
Yeah, so hopefully Fern has some insurance.
Yeah, somebody is somebody's paying for that. But worst of all is I don't know what games. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what games there were. I don't know if it's the hot games or the new games or anything like that. But they just had a tall stack of 4 or 5 games with a large wooden crate just leaning up against them.
Hopefully someone called them because no one was at their booth was set. They were ready to go.
Oh my gosh.
So they were done.
I didn't even think about that. How horrible would it be to come in the next morning and see that?
Yeah. And with a little note, our fault.
Oops.
Yeah,
My bad.
My bad. I've never seen that in coming here.
No, they're usually very, very careful. They follow all the safety guidelines and everything like that. It just must have, I don't know.
Load shift
Yeah.
off the jacks.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, so we step out of that. We're in there, and then I think our next thing is we go and talk to Level 99.
yes,
and we're talking with them about some of their games. I mean, it was you looked it up. It was in episode number 99
99.
when we played Millennium Blades.
Yes.
And I remember that game. God, that was a long time ago, and that's about as much as I remember.
It was the game where you were basically mimicking being a TCG player, where you'd open booster packs.
Yeah, and you had this, and you
like
had
set collection and stuff like that. So yeah, it was that.
yeah, and that's gotten re-released by them.
Yeah, no changes to it. They just printed more. There was a
Printed
big
more,
demand
okay.
for it. Yeah. What they did was they said they took all these extra packs they had sold at one time and just put them all in one box.
Okay. I remember one of the biggest things was the money issue.
Yeah, paper money.
Paper money.
I remember we dogged them for that. I was really hoping they would say we replaced the money with something else.
Yeah.
If I was to ever play it again, which I liked it okay, the money was just so much of a pain. I just used poker chips.
Yeah, poker chips. They did show us, they've got some of their games out that are coming, but one of the things that caught my attention, I mean, you're sitting there talking about board games, and David designed a book. Brad.
Yeah.
Designed a book using 22 games, card games using a standard tarot deck that's going to come out on Kickstarter, and he is going to put this out there where he designed 22 card games, and we got to play 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. The idea is that he's got the collection of the games going to come out, like I said, on Kickstarter. Bunch of different types of tarot decks. Now, you and I have never played. I didn't even know what a tarot deck consisted of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fortune telling deck.
Fortune telling. That's all I know for.
But it's multiple suits that run anywhere from 0 to 14, and then one special suit that went all the way up to 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he built a bunch of games around this. So what was cool was because of all those extra suits and everything, he could come up with some really clever games. We got to play a trick-taking game. We got to play a cool set collection game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a set collection, but you're actually playing poker. So you're putting cards down on a table, building a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you would have like maybe a row of 4. And as soon as you established a row or 2 cards, you could put another card offset above those 2 cards. And the idea is at the very end of the game, you flip over all the cards and you try to get the best poker hand possible. But each level of the pyramid increases in a multiplier. So the base is times 1, second row is times 2, etc.
Right. So anyway, there's 22 games in this book, and it's coming out on Kickstarter. This is one that Marty and I are definitely going to watch because with it, you get the book and a tarot deck that they are designing, the special artwork. And so I was very interested in that. Also, he showed us, and we didn't have time to play, but he showed us the Dead by Daylight expansion that they have.
Yep.
That's come out. You and I have not had the opportunity to play. I've never played Dead by Daylight.
I have not. And then there is a Spookify. Spooktacular. That we're going to get a copy of. We're going to play during BooBQ.
Right. And then the third game that he talked to us about was one that's currently on Kickstarter. And let's just make sure I say this. Campagna.
From a Japanese designer.
Yeah. Oh, gorgeous art.
I'm probably going to go out there and look at the Kickstarter and see how much it is because I'm just, if you've been listening to the show recently, I've been into the Asian themed games, etc. So then after this, our next big event was over at Asmodee. So Asmodee obviously owns a lot of things, Days of Wonder, FFG, etc. So we went to this very crowded hot room, and there was a lot of stuff to see. We were very fortunate to get a copy of Battle of Hoth, which is the Memoir 44 Star Wars games. We have not cracked it open yet, but we will. That's going to be a quick game, so I'm looking forward to playing that. And you got to talk to the designer for a while, Richard Berg.
I did and had no clue.
The designer of Memoir 44, and Tony didn't even know.
Well, he said, no, I knew he was the designer, but I
didn't know the history.
All the history right there, because, I mean, I'm out of the blue. And because she made, here's the designer. And I'm like, hey, Richard, how you doing? And, when I designed Memoir 44, ding, 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 ding. Okay, I got a clue now. All right. So at first I wasn't really sure what she was talking about, because I didn't realize until the lady who introduced me to Richard.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, got it. Introduced us, and she said, do you want to talk to him? I said, sure, I'll talk to him. And we just, we talked about his days when he played football and his original design of Memoir 44. And then I started cluing in a little bit better. And we talked about Memoir 44, what's, and the various expansions I have, and enjoyed playing it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this, because he basically says, if you know how to play Memoir 44, then here you go. But I was saying, well, in doing this design, what are the major changes? He says the hardest thing about this was getting Disney's approval. The big mouse had his thumb on him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Everything had to be right, the right font, the right colors, everything. He didn't have to worry about that previously.
Yep.
But now, yeah.
I just want to see the models. You saw the models. I didn't model by the table. They look pretty good.
Yeah. Models look pretty good. Somebody sent a walker flying across when he was talking with his hands near there. He went, bam! And they did. So, yeah, it cleared the table. But that was funny.
So, Office Dog was also there. Office Dog is the maker of the game that we really, really liked. River of Gold was like game of the year sort of thing for us. For actually a lot of people really like that game. There's a follow-up game, what they're calling a spiritual successor from the same publisher, Office Dog, called Tessen, The Battle for Toshi Rambo. This is also in the Legends of the Five Rings universe, which is what River of Gold was. This game is going to be coming out late Q4, and here's the pitch, y'all. A 45 to 60-minute game that is a worker placement dudes on a map.
Okay.
This was still a prototype board and everything, but the art already looks great. But it's one of those things to where you have multiple paths to victory. You can win without doing a lot of combat because there's different stages of the game that you can score for, and once somebody scores a certain number of times on the different things that are being measured, whether it be number of combat or number of areas controlled or stuff, that will trigger the end of the game and that person will win. So if two people go head to head, somebody else could be doing some of the other ways to win the game and win without really doing a lot of head stuff. Anyway, I thought it sounded cool, so I can't wait till the end of 2026 to see what that's all about.
All right. And then the other one that you and I, of course, went gaga over there about Office Dog is Lord of the Rings, the follow-up to the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers card co-op playing game. That's the best way I know how to describe it, where they are picking up from where they left off in the Fellowship with Chapter 19, if I heard him correctly, and building from there. And I did not get to catch a lot about it. I don't know if you talked. I saw some towers, a white tower, a dark tower, or a black tower, and I didn't get to hear a lot about the gameplay because I came in at the tail end of that. But it doesn't matter. This is one of those games for me that as soon as it hits, I'm buying.
100%.
I enjoy it. You could have told me, yeah, whatever. This game's kind of sort of falling into. I said, I don't care. I loved what that mechanic was. The challenge of that game, I liked it better than Crew. But hey, just maybe from theme alone. But there was just certain elements to the original that I thought the challenge was there, but it wasn't too hard.
Yeah. So very much looking forward to that. And I don't know if you looked at it. There's a little card game called Fried Potatoes. There's multiple.
I saw it, but I didn't.
In a box. It looked cute. I like fried potatoes. I'll check it out when it came out. Eric Lang was also there showing Clash of Cultures. I didn't get a chance to hear the pitch for that because honestly, the heat was in there. We got so brutal. It's like, we just got to get out. So we left.
Yeah, we sat back there and back, talked a little bit to the designer for Star Wars Galaxy that was back there, Mike, just briefly. He was back there, one of the designers. Before this, you were at the Star Wars Galactic Championships,
yep.
And they said they released the next set, the teasers for the next set. But they were briefly talking about that there.
Oh, okay.
So I said, well, Marty knows all about that. He can talk about it later.
You said Star Wars Galaxy. You meant Star Wars Unlimited?
Star Wars Unlimited.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep. And in our next episode, I'll do a kind of an overview of my trip to Vegas. We'll save that for a future time. After that, we went to All Play. Their big new game they're promoting is Twinkle Twinkle. What looks interesting about this is a drafting tile placement game, but the tiles are transparent.
Yes.
So just that little gimmick is like, all right, that's pretty cool. I want to try that.
Yeah, me too. And they even have the expansion there, so can't wait to break that open and see what it's like. Because as I've said often on the show, tiling is one of Donna's favorite things to do. You're trying to match up various constellations, certain patterns, certain form. That's really all I know from watching the various videos that have been out on what to be looking for at Gen Con in 2025.
We also picked up Soda Jerk, which is a brand new game from Chris Yee. You and I just played it real quick, night 2 player. To me, it felt most like a stock game. You're playing cards to a different flavor of a soda fountain. And if you play the right card that matches the flavor, it's going to give you positive points. If somebody plays an off flavor, it's going to be negative points. And then at the very end of the game, based on the flavor of cards you have in your hand, you're going to evaluate each value of the soda and get points for that. 2-player doesn't really work. So we need to play this with more players. So you'll be hearing about that later.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the key things is it's not all open knowledge. You're either going to play a card face down or you're going to flip a card face up.
Yeah. So you always play a card face down.
Yeah.
And then later on, anybody can flip any card face up to see what it was.
Yeah. You need more players for this because one of the end game conditions is if you flip over consecutive cards by all players, then the game immediately ends and you do the scoring round. You play for 3 rounds. Person with the highest score wins. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think 2 players, yeah, it was flat.
Yeah, it was flat.
Boom.
I see what you did there. Nice. After that, Lord, geez, was it Hatchette?
Hatchette?
No, it was Lucky Duck.
Lucky Duck.
Where they are showing off a brand new game based around the video game The Sims.
Okay.
So it's the Sims board game. And you and I basically did a stupid little video that's posted on Instagram and X if you want to go see it. And they just had a little silly video booth there.
Didn't get a chance to play it because there were other things. And I've never played
Sims.
I've never played Sims either.
So
They made me put something on my head.
They have another game that's coming out about some sort of sinking ship or something like that, which I'm more interested in.
Yeah.
We'll go check that out later. So then after that, we went over to Hatchette. And first thing we sat down and played was a tag team, which I thought, oh, okay, this is just another 2-player head-to-head game. But what's unique about this is what's called an auto battler, where you're kind of deck building your deck, but you can never modify the order of your deck. As you get new cards, you can stick that card anywhere you want in that deck. Mm-hmm. Even though you can't change the order of the other cards, you can break up some different things in cards of where you place the new card. And then basically when you're ready, both players turn the deck, put it face down, they flip over the top card, and they just immediately do it.
Right.
It tells you what you're doing and who's being the other player, whatever card they play for the character. There's 2 characters out on the table, so half the deck's one character, half the deck's the other. Whichever card the other person has, that's the person that you're attacking, but everybody has special abilities.
Right. And I mean, it was kind of, it's dual resolve. It's not like I'm going to do this and now it's your turn. No, it's all dual resolve. So if Marty hits me for 5,
simultaneous resolution.
Yeah. So if I hit you for better word. Yeah. So if I hit you for 5 points and you heal for 3, you actually only take 2 damage.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I hit you for 5, you're dead. You don't get to do your action. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that everything is simultaneously resolved.
It's quick, and it's one of those things that as it was pitched to us, it was like, well, that person has 2 attack cards, and the last time, if you remember the order, there was 2 attack cards in a row. So as long as they didn't stick another card between those 2 attack cards, you can think, well, I got this block card, and if I know there's 2 attacks in a row, I'm going to try to stick a card here in my deck to try to block that one attack I think that's coming. But then the other person could outthink you and do something else. So that's kind of the idea behind it. It's cute. I mean, it's 10-minute game, 15-minute game.
Yeah, it was. There's multiple fighters in it. You can do a random setup. It's a quick deck builder. You draw 3 cards, pick one, and put the other 2 on the bottom, which, by the way, is part of the strategy is how you stack those into the deck because later you'll be getting to them. So you need to keep that in mind.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
I did too. We have a copy, so we'll cover it in the future. We also got Gwent. We have not played Gwent. This is the game that's based on the Witcher. That's in the Witcher video game series. Chronologic, we played the first one of those. I like a deduction game like that, so we'll eventually cover that too.
So that was our day.
Well, no, we did before we came and recorded. Played one other game because we went by Osprey booth.
Oh yeah,
To check out their
you
new-
about got thrown against the floor.
We did. All right, so
Not this. We did crap. You about got thrown on the floor with your hands, palms face down. It was ugly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. One of the games I was really excited about for Gen Con was the new game from Osprey Games, General Orders, Sengoku Jidai, which is from David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. We played the first General Orders, the World War II game. This is like a 30-minute, 2-player worker placement area control game. Play it over 4 rounds. You can place workers to move people. You can redeploy people. There are decks of cards that you can use to modify your play to make it a little bit better. You can move into other people's hexes and attack them, and they'll come and attack you. But there's some hexes that have victory point totals. At the very end of the game, you're just going to count up who controls the most victory points, and that's the win. What I like about this is it adds in some ships. So there's some ship movement, which helps with supply because you have to worry about supply lines. And these ships can bombard the land and try to take out land troops. The land can shell the ships to try to take them out. We only played one game. It's one of those we probably have to play multiple times to kind of see how it works. And the board has 2 sides, and the other side has siege engines. I'm interested to play this a few more times, and we'll give y'all a full review on it later. But I had to get it because I just love their games, and I just love quick 2-player games like this.
So I have a question on that game from the standpoint of piece size. So, the board fits in a small box. It's not tiny. It's not an oink size box or anything like that. But the pieces for the army are these little round discs, and you're stacking them in there. They seem kind of over big for that, but if they're too small, I can't pick them up. It's a dilemma.
It is, especially when you have a bunch of discs and adjacent hexes, and a land area can have up to 5 discs.
Yeah, hard to tell where they are.
And some of the worker placement markings are on the hex tiles that it's being covered by disc. So you're constantly moving the disc to see what your worker placement options are for that particular tile. Because, like, for example, if I'm adjacent to a tile that's nobody's there, I can put a worker in the advance worker spot on that tile and move into it. But once tokens are in there, there may be an other worker placement area for, like, example, talked about shelling the sea, an adjacent sea area or something like that. But so, I mean, sometimes you have to move the pieces around to find that little spot to put your little hex piece, basically, to mark that. So I agree. I wish the board was bigger. I don't think the pieces could have been smaller.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I know, but that's a cost thing. I agree. I don't think the pieces could be smaller. I'm sitting here thinking, how would I solve this problem? And I think the only way to increase the cost by increasing the size of the board, increasing the box, and then, the trickle effect from doing all of that.
Sure. I mean, it wasn't unmanageable, but there were several times we were shifting discs around. I said, how many discs do you have there? And I need to put my little worker here. I need to move your disc over, that sort of deal.
Yeah. So that's I'm sitting there thinking, how is this? Artwork was really cool on the cards.
Yeah,
I will say that
it's traditional Japanese art, which is like the ink drawn stuff. So everything's like black and red. So yeah, it's really nice. What's cool about the cards is the cards will be like, hey, when you take an advance action, you can do this. You can move an extra unit or resupply an extra unit or something like that. So you only have a limited, with the board side we played, 5 worker placements per turn, 4 rounds. So you only get to place 20 workers total, pretty much.
Yes, game's over before you know it.
Yep, it is.
Absolutely.
Moves pretty quick. That ended our night.
Yes. They're done.
And now we're here.
Recording, getting ready for tomorrow. So real quick preview, you'll get to hear about it tomorrow. We, of course, have our big strike event. Thank you for everyone who has signed up for it. Over 100 people are coming to that. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now to those publishers who have given us game. Capstone, Queen Games have already contributed to that. And thank them for that. And we'll have another list of those coming out. OP Games. But anyway, just in case we forget them, because we often forget things tomorrow. So,
tomorrow is basically in about 2 minutes for you guys.
That's right.
Yeah, because it is now 11:26 my time, and Duolingo is saying you have 35 minutes to do your daily lesson, or you're going to break your streak.
What are you learning?
Japanese.
Okay.
I'm only 150-something days into this, so it's not like I know anything. So
Well, then sign us off with what you do know for tonight.
you're putting me on the spot. I can't do that.
Gen Con just finished up. I told y'all that, all these games that are hot now at Gen Con that we just were telling you a lot about. A lot of these are already kind of sold out over at Miniature Market. The pre-orders are gone. I mean, don't worry. They'll get restocked, but that's why you want to make sure to get on the notification list. Make sure to check out their pre-order page so as products come up and you might be interested in them, you can go grab them, pay for them, and have them held for shipping if you want, and then released at a later time. That's what I love about the whole shipping process. It doesn't have to be shipped immediately. Put it on hold, and once you have got enough on hold that gets you the free shipping, just go in there, say release these, and they'll be shipped to you directly. Again, there's a lot of new games that's up there right now, and I'm going to go ahead and start prepping you now. They're already starting to do pre-orders and previews of games being released at Essen, so you want to make sure to go over to miniaturemarket.com. You can use our affiliate link on our website, rolldicetakenames.com, which will help us out, and you can either go for what was hot or what's something that came out at Gen Con, or maybe go ahead and start pre-ordering for Essen. And again, all this can be done over at miniaturemarket.com.
It's Tuesday afternoon. That is incorrect. Start again. Hey, it's a long week. Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not going to point out, we were talking to somebody today and you kept saying, nah, that occurred on Tuesday. I'm like, dude, we're already in Thursday. Catch up.
Okay. The whole thing with the thing falling over, was that last night?
Yes. That's the only time we've been in the convention center was Wednesday. That's when you do setup.
Well, no, I went in Tuesday, but
You didn't do setup.
But
and
you weren't there.
No, I was not there.
Yeah, the days are a blur. All right, so we usually record this late at night. However, we are back in our room before the strike event. Had some time, so we thought we'd go ahead and go over the stuff that we saw today. And both of us are in general good moods. One of us later tonight will not be in the best of moods, so we thought we might as well record now.
Well, you can assume I'm in a good mood. God, there were so many freaking people. Oh, my gosh.
Felt like a Saturday.
Yeah, it did. It was just wall-to-wall people. Nobody was using the roundabout, yielding ways correctly. It was just, it was just mobbed. But it was a controlled mob.
I mean, yeah, everybody was polite and everything like that. But what was interesting was people kept asking, "What's the hot game?" I didn't see a hot game.
I mean, the big one, I think, we pointed this out, the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
That seemed pretty good. Capstone.
You want to tell your story on that one?
No.
Okay.
No, I think that was yesterday. I think I told it yesterday.
No, the story about this morning about going and stand in line for Battle of Hoth.
Yeah, I went and stood in line for somebody to get Battle of Hoth. And unfortunately, there was confusion at the booth, and they said we didn't have any for sale, but they did, and therefore other people were walking away with it about an hour later. So I'm sure those who were in line very early were not a happy camper.
No.
But if they even noticed it, I mean, how would you even know?
Well, they'd see people walking around, and they go, "How'd you get that copy?"
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, that was kind of a fiasco. All right, so we started out the morning with watching the Nintendo Partner Direct.
You did.
I did. There really wasn't much there. A couple Square Enix games were announced I'm interested in, but I like JRPGs, so I'll try Octopath Traveler and that new one. So anyway, all right, moving on. The first meeting we had was with Beth Erickson over at Restoration Games.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to really say here. Everything that she told us has already kind of been announced. They do have some other stuff that's going to be. I wish almost we'd have seen them tomorrow because they are announcing a couple things tomorrow at their big event.
Okay.
And I'll just say, we can say it because this isn't going to come out.
Right.
Yeah, we can say it right now. All right. So one of the things is a unmatched with Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's going to be coming out as a 2-player set. And then there's an expansion to Thunder Road.
Okay.
That's coming out.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that part. I guess maybe you heard that from Justin.
Yep.
But how is that? I mean, we had the Carnival of Chaos.
I have no idea.
No idea. So, okay, we'll get the details on that later. But yeah, no, I mean, Matches was selling pretty well for him. Thunder Road, of course, is selling really well for him. Other than that, yeah, not a whole lot from Restoration, which is fine. Hey, stick with what brought you.
We did get to see some of the monsters that are in the new the monster games that they have that we talked about recently with Justin and Rob on our show. They're beasts. These aren't the final production. These are just 3D printed models, but they were really nice. Next up, we went over to see our good friend Jess over at Thunderworks Games.
We sold a game for her. 2 games. We did that.
Yeah, they do Citizens of the Spark, which we really liked, and people were dimming on it, and Tony and I started talking about how much we liked it, and one guy said, all right, well, I'll buy one then.
Next person, you got me sold too. And we pointed out from this game, we flipped over to the back of the page of the various ways to build the decks. You can do them random. You can have that interaction, or basically go singletary, as I unfortunately call it, where you're just basically playing your own little game over there, not much interaction. So yeah, we were able to do that. Talk about how the things were being sold there. They said they've got some, Kickstarter announcements coming up that hopefully we'll be able to talk about in a future episode.
Yep.
Pay attention to that. Thunderworks has got some other announcements coming out on a game that was pretty much one of their launching points. So if that interests you, be ready for that.
Yep, exactly. Next was Asmodee. I'm not going to really say much here because we talked about the Asmodee event last night. It was just catching up with our contact there, Ashley. Super nice person. It was one of those things that sometimes when we meet people that we've already had a conversation with, we said, we just want to give you a break. And they said, oh, thank you. And they just sit there for 30 minutes and we just chit-chat.
Right. We talked about some of the fact that a grabber game has the ability to be set on how many times it will actually grab.
A grabber game.
Like a claw game.
Okay. Like arcade claw game.
Arcade,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, grabber game for me. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're talking board games, but no, an arcade claw game, and how it can be set to where when it drops, it may not grab all the way. I'm like, well, that sucks. And she goes, yeah, you can do that. So after so many times, it will eventually, give you a win.
Because they have a grabber game here.
Yes.
The setup that people can go play.
Well, I didn't want to point out that maybe they were cheating the system. I was just thought maybe that was an interesting conversation.
Well, not cheating the system. It's just that there are these settings that you can put in there.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they were putting the settings at, and every other grab is a win, and they're letting people do it twice. I don't know. I haven't walked over there. They got squishies in it, so I want squishy.
You want to go squishy. So
I want squishy.
You need to go over there and give that a shot. Next, we went over to Lucky Duck Games. Now, we talked about the event they had last night. We talked about some other stuff they had. One was Critter Kitchens. Yeah,
with the Zoo Chef.
Yeah. Zoo Chef.
A lighter family-style game selling great for them right now.
It is. So much so that it was like, that sounds kind of cool, so I think we may check that out.
Right. Yeah, after they, hopefully, they'll sell out here at the show, and we'll be able to get a copy in later. There were some other small games that she gave.
We got a card dueling game. This one I was interested in. It's Kira Eye the Duel. It's a little small box 2-player card game. It's designed by a Japanese game designer, Kambayashi. So I always like these little quick, 5-10 minute card 2-player card games. And Tony, you got?
We got Temple Code over here. I'm looking for the designer. It's not on the front of the box. That's all right. We'll go ahead.
It's the same guy that designed Turing Machine.
Is it Johan Levitt?
That's why I picked it up.
Okay. Well, basically, I'll read you what you do here.
All right, tell me.
Step 1, choose a card from an opponent.
Uh-huh.
Step 2, align the cards and check for information. Step 3, deduce the code. So it sounds kind of like a mastermind game.
Yes. That's what I heard it pitched as. So,
okay.
And how many does it play up to?
Let's see. We can look at the box right here, and it's going to play up to 30 minutes.
1 to 4.
2 to 4.
On the box side, it says 2 to 4.
Oh,
1 to 4, I mean.
1 to 4. Okay. Well, I guess maybe that's a half person. I'm looking at the little symbols on the box. So.
Oh, yeah. No, it says 1 to 4. If you
1
look
to 4.
Right beside it.
Oh, I see. That's the time. Okay, there it is. 1 to 4.
Gosh.
30 minutes. All right. 8 and up. I can do that.
Then we went over to Hatchette, who we already talked about last night.
Well, this was a good, everybody was in the thing, and it was a good way. Even though we were at the various meet and greets, this gave us a chance to go face-to-face, mano y mano, 1v1.
Mano y
mano.
Yeah, with a friend of the show from many, many years, Nikki Schultz.
Yes.
A wonderful person, and we sat there and talked for a while. We already kind of knew all the stuff that they were coming out with. Obviously, Hatchette covers a lot of different publishers, and so they're ones you want to keep an eye on, and they're really good about like every quarter having like little videos showing the stuff that's coming out, and that's what we find that we may have some interest in, and then
Yeah,
tell
right.
you all about.
Right now, I'm reading the rules to Strange World, which is going to come from them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to see who is making this, but this is a card drafting game.
Oh, let's see, 15-minute game. That's perfect by
That is-
Florian Grenier.
By who?
Florian Grenier.
Well, of course. Oh, that's the designer. I was looking at who.
Oh, the publisher.
Publisher is so we got a little bears. Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't-
Randolph.
Oh,
Sorry.
Randolph Games. Okay.
Yeah, Randolph Games. They're the. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Card drafting. Yeah, bring it on.
If you look over our stack of stuff we've gotten so far, there's many small box card games.
I love them.
It's one of those things that you got a couple of big box games you may play a few times, but little small card box games you get to play a lot. Speaking of card games, we went over to UVS Games, who makes a lot of collectible games. They have the UVS fighting system, and we got to check out. Well, I guess first before we talk about that, they are carrying Star Trek Star Realms, the Star Trek themed game, and they're coming out with an expansion, the Borg.
The Borg. Yeah, you will be assimilated. Very, very interested in that, being the Trekkie fan that I am. I like the fact that we were talking about how this expansion will allow one person go against many other people. 1v2, 1v3. That's pretty cool. I like that. Keeping in theme with the Star Trek world.
They have some on sale for here, and it's not that expensive. It was like $30 or $35 for the base game, $25 for the expansion, something like that. So we've always been a fan of Star Realms. Now we have a Star Trek themed Star Realms we'll get to try out at some point in time. Then, I forgot about, we talked
I was
about
going to say, you killing the lead here.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Heroes in a Half Shell.
Heroes in a Half Shell.
Turtle
We got
Power.
to see their new, basically it's a TCG. So it works like their other games. I've talked about Tekken 8 before, Street Fighter. They all have this similar mechanic of how the game works. Now they have a TMT themed one. We got something to see the art on the cards. And what's interesting is they've pulled art going back to the 80s comics up to the most recent movie, including things like video games.
Right, yeah. So you get that classic look that you and I are familiar with, not growing up with, but watching on the cartoons, to where now Donatello is wearing glasses, which I always thought was the weirdest thing. But then they have these special cards that are gray with green ink.
Yes.
And then if you shine them under a UV light, they explode. No, they don't explode. What did he was talking
They
about?
glow.
They glow.
Yeah, they glow under a black light.
They glow under a black light. Okay. I was like, what is he talking about? Is there like something criminal here that we're going to decide? No, I know. It was pretty cool. I was like, oh, these look really good, even without the black light.
It was really sharp looking cards. And there's even one card that was like a miniature. Like looks like from a HeroClix miniature. I don't know what miniature it was from, but that's really interesting that instead of just picking one art style, they're just pulling from the whole history of the game.
Like there's going to be 40 some years. And then, of course, he also pointed out GameGenic is doing their mats and card sleeves, which is huge. You know, we love GameGenic from Star Wars Unlimited. So, and it was really cool. They had the 4 various art styles from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you could get a mat for each of those if you want.
And lastly, he told us a little bit about the new game from Riot Games called Riftbound. We're going to put a pause on that one because you and I are going to do a demo tomorrow. We can talk about
Right, 6 p.m.
then. Yep. And lastly, we went over to North Star and we talked with Scott, who is designing or developing the video game version or digital version of Nature, which is their big game released at Gen Con. Very hot game. A lot of people are buying this. They had a digital version of their previous game, Evolution, which I actually did a video for on the YouTube channel for the Switch. And so we got to see the new version for Nature. And he was telling us some of the differences between the game Evolution and Nature.
To be honest with you, really was paying more attention to the user interface to this, how easy. And I mean, he was flying through that user interface. That made it very simple to use, collecting the food, the AI coming in, doing various things and saying, okay, you know, this is how it's changed. And I was like, okay, that's running pretty darn smooth on an iPad.
Yeah, it was. It's going to be available on iOS, Android, and Steam. Yep.
And at a great price point, in my opinion. I think it was $20 for the base.
$10 for the base.
Was it 10 for the base?
$7 per module.
Okay. The 20 may have been for one of the packs over there for the actual base game of Nature.
Right. Yeah, the base game of Nature is only $35.
Right.
Yeah, and so I didn't realize this. I'm sure we were told before when this game was being promoted last year, was that with Evolution, when you take expansions, you mix them together in a single deck. Here you don't do that anymore. So you have the base expansion of nature, and then if you plug in a module, you just have an extra set of cards. So when you go to draw cards, you can pull from either deck that you want.
Right.
I like that. He said, obviously, that helps you for your planning, deciding which way you want to go. And for setup and cleanup, you haven't got to desort cards, basically.
A whole bunch of a big old deck. And it also helps you decide, okay, how do I want to build this? Maybe I'm just going to take a little bit from Flight and come from the base game. We talked about some of the issues from Evolution that they should and hopefully have corrected, about where you can get the runaway leaders, you can have the two big predators that just wipe everybody out. They don't make it fun. They took some of the, it's not as brutal when you get attacked like it was in Evolution. So it'll be interesting to play nature and see how that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was a huge turnoff in my house when someone did that, when it was a constant, when you never felt like you could get a leg up. And he says there is a way to come back here.
Yep.
So that was key.
We're going to get some beta keys to Steam. It's supposed to release in like a month or so. And so you and I are going to be playing some. It does have asynchronous gameplay, which is nice. So you could take a move on, I could take a move on my PC and you can finish the move on your phone. And so it does have crossplay and everything. Plus, it just mimics the exact tabletop game. So it's one of those things that for very small costs, if you play the video game and like it, you just go out and start buying the full tabletop game.
When we were talking about Nature, the board game, I was sitting there thinking, okay, why would I, an Evolution player, want to go pick up Nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he made a lot of good points. There are various modules that I don't particularly care for in Evolution, or like I said previously, so that's why I'm very interested in this, to restart it, bring it back to the table, because I really enjoyed Evolution.
All right, so we probably have about 45 minutes before we have to head over to the restaurant, but before we do that, we're going to do a special taste bud. So, all right, Editor Marty in post-production, put in that theme song.
Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. They're just a bunch of.
One of our listeners came up to me while I was sitting in the portal booth. He said, hey, you said to bring something to try for Taste Buds to Gen Con, and he did that. He brought to us from Eastern Europe a lime Coke Zero Sugar drink to try.
Excellent. I was telling you about it when you showed me that, but I had the lemon version when I was over in Western Europe.
Okay.
It was called Sunshine.
Okay.
And it was so good. Oh, man, that was so good.
Do you have any idea what this language is below where it says zero sugar? I don't recognize that at all, the letters.
I have no clue unless it's Arabic. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. Google Photo will be able to take care of that for us later. We'll figure it out.
All right. So once you crack it open, we're having to hold the mic, so it's kind of awkward in the hotel room to do this. So it's in a regular plastic bottle, and we're going to pour. So, oh, it smells limey.
So did you remember when Diet Coke had Diet Coke with lime?
Yes.
It was one of our favorite drinks. I know you don't like Diet Coke, but
yeah, I know you were like obsessed with it. And then it went away or something.
It went away, and man, I thought Donald was going to have a hissy fit with him. But that's why when we see it, we get very excited. So I know this is going to be good.
All right, here we go. Let's try it. Yep. That's good.
That's very good.
And it's not too strong on the lime.
No, I'll admit the lemon and lime, I like them both. I think I like the lemon a little bit more, but this lime, it's so good. Why did Coke in the U.S. get rid of it? I don't know.
And it's one of those things I almost wish it could have been a regular Coke Zero, and then I would have bought a Coke Zero from here, and we could have done taste tests to see if they taste any different.
Right. But nope, can't get them. Nope, unless you go to a flavor fountain, and those things don't really work in a restaurant, in my opinion. The ones where you pick and mix.
Yeah. Our movie theater has that. I never really mix.
Yeah, I don't think they do a good job, good balance. But that's just me.
All right, thanks so much for bringing that out. We also have Berkey brought us some beef jerky to try one night too, so we can do another segment later on, some beef jerky.
That's right, and he says he wants us to try it with a different flavor. So we'll have to do 2 because we got to eat these before they go bad.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe we can do that tomorrow night or something. But what we need to do is start prepping to take over all the prizes over to Old Spaghetti Factory. And that includes a bunch of fantastic publishers who gave us games to have in the giveaway. And we saw a bunch of people on the floor who are excited about tonight. So I hope it goes well. It's always kind of stressful getting everybody in there and everybody set down and get the games going and everything, because we don't have enough strike games or dice and bowls for every table, so we have to kind of shift them around.
Right, and we got to manage that and talk to people, get people to divide up, and then help people understand how we want it to be done. Oh yeah,
teach the rules,
teach the rules, the logistics. How many people
what you can order, what you can't order.
Don't mind doing it, but man, just get through that stress, and then once all that gets settled, then we get going, and everything goes well.
It is a fantastic event. We will be back in our next segment with the results of the 2025 Gen Con Strike Tournament. It is Friday, 1 week after Gen Con. Because Thursday night when we went back to the room after the strike tournament, I hit record, Tony.
Yeah.
And on the recording, it said testing 1, 2, 3, and then it stopped. So I must have inadvertently hit the stop button. So we didn't get the entire segment where we talked about the strike tournament, which I'm sure you're probably okay with.
I was getting ready to say, you think you were the one who hit the button. Who knows? It could have been me. We're not going to point blame here. We're just simply going to rehash a little bit of what happened. There's no reason to go into a long diatribe like you did Thursday night after the strike tournament. I think we should keep it short and sweet because this show's already running long. You've already post-edited probably or whatever you do to it.
I have, yeah. So we're just going to recap the strike tournament that we had at Gen Con at the Old Spaghetti Factory. We had about 110 people. The room was absolutely packed. Now, I will say, Tony, people started coming in at 6:45, and I was not ready for that. Usually the staff waits until 7 to let people in. All of a sudden, people just start streaming in. It's like, we're not ready.
Well, it was really nice. 2 gentlemen showed up early and said, we're here to help you. And this isn't beside Ben and Chevy. There were 2 other people that said, hey, we're here to help you. And then Berkey's crew shows up.
Berkey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a ton of people there.
Which was super nice, and we couldn't have done it without those guys because as people sat down, we had to teach the rules of strike, and then they went around and we had a checklist or check everybody in. They got raffle tickets and 2 games. We gave them Tacta from OP Games, and I'm having a brain fart on the game. Takanuki from Luma Imports. Yes, that we actually covered last year and we really enjoyed. It's a little fun take that game. So we played Strike. People were having a great time. Now, for those who don't know, what we do is you play at the tables and the winner of the games move on to basically the quarterfinals. And usually at that point we say, what team are you supporting? Dice in a Bowl or Gladiators in Arena? And Tony, I think it was like 2-1 Gladiators in Arena winners in the quarterfinals than what it was in Dice in a Bowl.
Yes, it was unreal, the number of Gladiators, and I wish we could have had better semifinalists to make it to the finals, but that's all right. We won't do anything. I mean, yeah, it was unreal how many people, and not that I was going around the tables and coaxing people with my awesome shirt, which is vintage, probably 2018. I forget how old that shirt is. But, someone did say, hey, don't we get shirts here? I'm like, I'm sorry, not this year.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Last year was pretty awesome when Ravensburger gave everybody a shirt. And we reached out to Ravensburger again. He said, oh, that's great. You guys are doing that. And that was it. That's the last time we heard from him. Oh, well.
But yeah, I mean, then we got down to the finals. And we had 6 people going. My gladiators.
Yeah, so it was three gladiators in the arena versus 3 dice in the bowl in the championship.
And I don't know if my gladiators had too much port wine. I don't know if they stayed up partying too late, but they were making bonehead plays. As a coach, I was ready to yank the whole team, put in some subs, but I couldn't. It was I wonder if we could do that. Have a bench, somewhere on the bench, someone in warming up.
Go to the bullpen.
Yeah, go to the bullpen.
Tony comes out there and starts tapping his right arm, going to make a switch.
Yeah, I don't know what he's out of here.
Hand me the dice. You can take the dice from him.
I think we're going to
bring in the next guy.
I think we're going to do that. Yeah, I think that's going to be allowed in the rules.
That's what we should do. We should have like a celebrity person in the bullpen ready to go and call him in. We need to remember that for next time. That's pretty good. So anyway, it was kind of an anticlimactic championship because the gladiators in the arena were knocked out pretty early, and the last 2 standing were actually dice in the bowl playing against each other.
Right, and there wasn't as many bowl clears as we've had in the past, where if all the dice are taken out of the bowl before the next person rolls, they have to commit all of their dice to the bowl, and that really didn't happen either. I don't know what was going on. Something happened there, but we had a beautiful Matt.
Oh gosh, yeah,
and we had a gentleman. A week ago, I said his name, and now I don't have it written down anywhere. Oh, my gosh. And he created 3 plastic bowls for us.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I can't remember if I shared a picture of these. What I'll do is I'll check our Instagram at Dyson Names or X at Dyson Names. I actually got those over here. I was going to take a picture and share them. They're amazing. I'm going to start bringing these to the event too, to use in future events. Yeah, we had that big Roman mat that was given away as a prize. So we had amazing prize support thanks to all the publishers that donated games for that night. We had maybe 20, 25 games to give away. It was a lot.
I know. I kept calling raffle tickets. It was getting old.
But, probably a quarter of the people won something there, which is really sweet. So it was another very successful event. Thanks to everybody who came out. It seems like everybody had a great time. If you want to see a little synopsis of the championship, I did post a video on Instagram and on X if you want to go see it.
Yeah. I lost. I mean, we could have summed this up at the very start. You won, I lost. Okay.
All right. So the next segment will go back to what we recorded last week at Gen Con for Friday.
Nobody was more heartbroken than Ignacy on the fact that Age of Galaxy did not make it to Gen Con. However, his sadness is our happiness.
Why is that?
Because if you were at Gen Con, you could have gotten free shipping if you had stopped by the booth.
Oh, yeah.
If you head over to shopportalgames.com right now, you can pick up Age of Galaxy for $32 and get 5 additional faction cards. Go ahead and get that pre-order in. It's in the warehouse, y'all. While we were at Gen Con, Chevy looked at us and said, guess what? I think it's arrived. Go over to Shop Portal Games, order Age of Galaxy. This is a 4x game that is supposed to play under 60 minutes. We'll see about that. Slow players like me and Marty, we can make anything last out to 2 hours. But that's Age of Galaxy. Also, while we were at Gen Con, I want to point out games that were flying off the shelf. Brazil, amazing game. Go check that. It's on sale over at Shop Portal Games. Robinson Crusoe, Book of Adventures. They were selling those all day long.
Imperial Miners sold out.
Imperial Miners sold out. If you don't have a copy of Imperial Miners, fast-playing, tile-laying game, sort of, kind of.
Engine building game.
Yeah, something like that. Do that. Robinson, like I said, the CE version, that's over there at Shop Portal Games or Miniature Mart. Bohemians will release its Spiel Essen 2025. So be sure to get a pre-order in on that.
We got to see it played. We kind of got an overview of it for Bohemians too. So yeah, you want to look forward to that if you like a little deck building game.
Resurgence was popular at Gen Con. Things were moving quick, even though they did not have their newest and greatest there. People love Portal Games. You'll love Portal Games. So be sure to go over there and place your orders and get ready for Age of Galaxy, because maybe, teaser, we might have a special guest on in the future to talk about it. That's shopportalgames.com.
It's Friday night and I ain't got nobody except Tony in the room with me recording right now.
And I'm checking stuff so I know what the heck to say tonight.
Basically, our talking points are basically the calendar of meetings that we had during the day today, which kicked off with a meeting with Andrew from Devir Games.
Nope, it did not kick off that way.
It did not kick off that way.
It kicked off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, oh my God.
Okay, so let me set it up. Let me set it up.
Here we go.
All right. So first off, for some odd reason, Marty's up bright and early on a Friday. I don't know why he's up so early, but whatever, fine. We've got to get over to the convention center so that we can stand in line
So yesterday, I wanted to go get some starter decks for the Gundam card game. Just curious to see how it plays, whatever. Maybe by Bandai Namco. I thought, hey, man, that makes some good
made by
stuff.
who?
Bandai Namco.
That just flows out, doesn't it?
Bandai Namco.
Yeah,
they also make video.
Namco.
Namco. They also make video games. They've been making.
Yeah, I thought they.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so they said, well, if you can't buy that, you have to come back at 8 a.m. in the morning when we hand out tickets for times that you can come and buy what you want. All right. So set the alarm, get over there at 8 a.m. We stand in a long line, lose pretty quick. We get a slip of paper that says, okay, come back at 12:30 and you can get your stuff. Sweet.
In small print on this paper, it says, but no product is guaranteed when you come back.
But I was told on Thursday, it's like, we got plenty of starter decks. There's 4 starter decks. We're good. We come back at 12:30. We promptly get in a line to be able to go and purchase our stuff. And we get to the front of the line. I said, I would like to purchase just 2 of your 4 starter decks. And they said, we don't have any of those.
That's right.
I said, excuse me? What do you mean you don't have it? We've sold out for the day. I'm like, okay, why isn't there something posted somewhere showing what you're sold out of?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, but you can get this pack.
You asked for these 2 things, and he brings out the box that has the starter decks and the mechs in it, and it cost $15 more. No.
Yes, $15.
No, $20 more.
$15 more. It was 20. No, you're right. No, it was $11.99 for a starter deck, and this cost $35.
$35. Yeah. Not that money does
matter. It doesn't. No, it's a big deal. So it's like, no, I don't want the miniature stuff. I just want starter decks. Well, that's what we sold out of. And they said this has a starter deck in it, but it also has a couple minis in it too.
Or come back tomorrow, get in line to stand in line again, to stand in line to get it to stand in line and be told that you can't get it, but you got to be here early so you can get an earlier time.
So I plopped down $70 for 2 basically starter decks. Now, my son is into the Gundam miniatures, so I'm just going to give those to him and let him put them together.
You could have walked away.
I could have walked away, but I felt like, sir, I got up early in the morning, went and stood in a line so I could come back later to stand in line. I was not walking away empty-handed. I wanted something for my effort.
And I was standing in line too. I have no interest in this. I'm just like, whatever. It's another card game. We don't need to be getting into any more card games. And I'm like, and then we get our tickets. You are entitled to 1 of each of these things if we have it. A starter deck, a box of this, a playmat. Oh, playmats were gone yesterday. We don't have any more playmats.
2020 hindsight. I should have bought some booster packs, which you could get, and hope that I opened something out of it that I could turn around and just flip.
Flip it, yeah.
Because for some reason Bandai Namco will not create enough product when they launch a card game, and they have had many recent successful card games, and they will just not put out enough product. For example, I was just going to get this in my local game store. So my local game store said, yeah, we put in the order months ago. When it was released, I asked you, you're going to have it? And they said, no, we're not. We were allocated 0% of our order. Got nothing.
So 0 times whatever's nothing.
Yeah. So these starter decks are going online for like $50-$60 a pop because you can't find them anywhere.
So I could get up tomorrow because maybe they'll have some starter decks and I can get a early tee time.
Yep.
And tee it up, and then we can flip those.
Literally, we could. Anything that we would buy, we could flip for a profit, 100%. Even the stuff that I bought today with the miniatures is probably worth even more because there's somebody. Oh, great story. So we went to Steak and Shake to eat tonight.
Don't judge us. That was quick and easy. Don't judge us.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, and we also, we did not eat great. I mean, we went to Taco Bell, which
Almost lunch, y'all.
That was lunch. So we went to Steak and Shake and Taco Bell. And here in Indy, my gosh, you can get a pina colada with rum.
Where?
At the Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can get alcohol at Taco Bell. You can order a pina colada slushy and put rum in it. Boom. Blow my mind. I was like, this, first off, don't drink. But anyway, this is wild. I love me a good pina colada, though. But that's not what I'm going to get at Taco Bell. But
Exactly. It's like, what you going to get? I'm going to go get some drink. Where are we going? Taco Bell. Excuse me?
We're going to the bar at Taco Bell. Oh, wow. We've really squirreled.
Okay. Anyway, so we're sitting there and we're eating, and this gentleman sits over to the right of us, and he happens to have one of these big Gundam bags that we got with the product. And so we said, just out of curiosity, I said, when you went through the line, were there any starter decks left?
What was your time?
I can't remember what his time was.
His time was 1.
Okay, so he didn't have that. He said, no, but he said, I wasn't going there for that anyway. My friend just wanted to get the miniatures. I went, oh, okay, makes sense. Well, I told him what we wanted. He said, here's the thing. I've got this starter deck. Nobody wants it. You can have it. I said, what? He said, yeah, I don't want it. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that. I just give you something for your effort. He said, give me $5 and we're cool. Mm-hmm. So the guy for $5 gave me his starter deck. Now, I didn't look to see if it's one of the 2 I have because there's 4 of them, but that was really nice of the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we just sat there and talked for a bit. So that's the cool things that can happen at Gen Con. You just meet strangers and you have stuff in common and have a good little chat.
As best you can, say, Jan, number 111, your shake is ready. I mean, my gosh, if you couldn't hear that.
That was really hot. Let me turn down that mic when you talk.
Okay. Ooh, sorry.
Okay.
It was high at Steak and Shake.
Yeah, it was. But honestly, it was one of the few places around that wasn't too crazy crowded.
We do that. We had, that was this morning. Then we head over to Chip Theory Games, and our buddy Andrew had a little meeting with him and reviewed some of their stuff that's coming out. Oh, yeah,
it wasn't. They've got some stuff that's coming out soon. So they said that what they're going to do is like big game, light game, big game, light game sort of deal. So we got to see a new Strong 20 product that's going to be coming out, which is the solo game. There's going to have some variants of that. We got to see another game that's in development from the people that made Neon Rain, which is a lighter. It's a company that makes lighter versions of games. And so we saw a couple of their games prototypes that haven't been announced yet. Honestly, we can't really say that much. It was just like, here's what's in the pipeline coming down the future. And so again, look for them to have light game, heavy game sort of deal.
Right. And then we saw all their kids' games, which if you have young ones, you wouldn't think to look to Chip Theory Games for some kids' games like, I believe it was, I have a picture, Octo Garden or Octo Grab, where you're learning to use chopsticks to pick up various shells. I mean, as I get older, this is a good game for me in helping my dexterity, where I'm trying to use chopsticks to pick up little pieces.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that they would have kids games, but they do have a line of kids games, which I think really worth interesting to look at. I will say this, we did get a copy of Roth for them, which is the big game here at Gen Con that they're selling. This is an area control game. We have it at the house, so we'll be playing that soon and covering that, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and there was a game where he said, hey, this is a card game that's better than war. So I'm excited for getting that eventually.
And it had something with the word number 5 in it.
5 in it.
Yeah, I can't remember. You kept saying Take 5, but it's not Take 5.
It's not Take 5. Yeah, that's a different game.
Anyway, but we didn't get a chance to play it, but they said it's a better version of war. Next, we ran across Dead Alive Games. Now, this is one that we were super excited to go and check out because there was a trick-taking game that we were very interested in. And this is a company that made a game that we covered earlier called Lunar Rush.
Right. Do we want to back up at all about Keymaster with Sarah?
Oh, we just kind of we didn't have a meeting with them.
No,
yeah, we just kind of ran across them, and they were Sarah Erickson, who's been on the show before in the past and has been with other companies, is now with Keymaster Games. And she gave us a game that she wants us to check out called Creepy Creatures?
Camp Creatures.
Campy Creatures.
Campy Creatures, yeah.
Hold on.
We'll get that. While he's doing that, do want to point another thing out while he's looking that up. Before we ran into Sarah, Campy Creatures, we went to a booth just out of blue. We were just walking by, and it was actually Around the Stump Games. and we talked to them about a couple of their Kickstarter products. One of them was, and the reason why it caught my eye was the game was called Outrun the Bear. I mean, we all know the joke. You don't have to really outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the slowest person. We know that. And I was talking to the designer about that. It was very interesting on the card play and how the bear builds up the tension. And it was a unique game. It won Best Family Game, which I find hilarious, that it's one of the best family games. It was nominated honor mention around UK Expo last year. But it's just like, how's this a family game? You're trying to make sure somebody gets eaten by a bear. So I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. But that was a good one. And they have another Kickstarter coming out that I found to be very interesting. That was a deck builder. And the name of that is Button Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Button Kingdoms. And so this deck builder, and I didn't tell Marty anything about it, I was going to tell him about it on the show tonight, was that, you know how on deck builders you just have that marketplace?
Where you buy cards from.
Yeah. So he's like, I love deck builders, but I've always felt that in the marketplace, don't you hate it when that one card that will really help your deck in the marketplace goes out and someone either buys it or it gets wiped away or something like that. And you know that's the way. And it's just,
I know that frustration.
That frustration. He says, all right, so in this one, everybody's participating by doing I have a card for the market and you can bid on it.
Mm.
All right. And you're bidding and selling in the market like a stock exchange. So taking high bids, low bids, or you always get the lowest bid because that makes sense to you. Or you may say, well, I really don't want that. And if no one bids on it, you get it for free.
Mm.
So it's a really interesting mechanic. I can't wait for the Kickstarter that starts up first of next year. He's been working on it for a while. It sounded very interesting. And the best part about Button Kingdom was that it's kids pretending to have their plushies have war.
Yep.
I thought that was just a cute little thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bunch of, say the word for me, anthropomorphic animals in it. It's their little plushies attacking.
Yeah. You said originally it was a fantasy themed game, but because of the Outrun the Bear, they had this family friendly kind of thing going on, so they rethemed it to be that.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Now Dead or Alive?
It's not Dead or Alive.
It's not just Dead Alive. It's Dead Alive. Dead Alive Games.
I'm wanted.
Oh my gosh, the most overplayed Bon Jovi. I cannot stand that song anymore. It's so funny in the 80s. It's like, that's a great album. And I'm so sick of it.
Dead or Alive.
All right, so Lunar Rush from Dead Alive Games we've covered before. Really enjoyed it. So they have
What'd you just call them?
Dead Alive Games.
Okay, Dead Alive Games. Okay.
And I may have said it wrong. It's 11 something. I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
It's 11:19. So Lunar Skyline, which you kind of turned me on to, is a game that they had coming out at the show that is a really interesting twist on a trick-taking game. So we went and talked to them about it, and he said this is very much a trick-taking game for hobby gamers. Mm-hmm. And so we like the pitch of it. Basically, cards have two suits. Mm-hmm. They can have different combinations of suits. So, like, say, for example, you may have, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so they had leaves and
water.
And I'm just going to pick a lightning bolt.
Right.
So you may have a leaf lightning bolt, leaf water, and you've kind of got these combinations going around all these cards. So when a card is played and you have one of those suits in your hand, you must play that card.
You must follow suit.
But what's interesting is there's a lot of things that can now follow that card because there's two suits on each card played.
Right. And it takes trick taking to a different type of mentality. We'll talk more about it, but one of the things is that you still have to play a card to show what your bid is, and now that card's out of your hand and doesn't count.
But the suits on that card could earn you extra points at the end of the game if the tricks you take contain those suits.
There's another rub. Ooh. And then if you make your bid, then you get to take a contract that lets you score points for making your bid. It's not you get points based on how many bids you make. There's contracts, which also may have an indication on the resources that you're winning. So even if you're not winning the resources that you want to win, you may be able to get a contract that gives you additional points. Yes.
But if you take more tricks than you bid, it's -2 points per trick you went over your bid.
That's right.
Ooh. Oh, and the weird thing, the really weird thing. So You have to always follow suit
Always.
if you can. If you can't, the card that you play comes back to your side as a trick that you actually took. It's called smuggling.
Mm-hmm.
So you may play a single card that ends up being a trick that will count toward the total number of tricks that you took during the game. But sometimes you can strategically play that card that you played off suit from somebody else contains one of the suits that will give you points.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
And originally thought smuggling was going to be easy to do. Ooh,
No. Because there's so many cards that can follow suit, it's actually tough to not have something in your hand that you can't use to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, Tony and I are like, yes. We both bought a copy, the
Yes.
deluxe version. We sat down tonight and played it with David Waybright, and Gary, who used to be with Man vs. Meeple from years ago. Ooh, y'all, it's thinky. It is super thinky. It took us 3 rounds, and I still don't know the strategy. I don't know, when do I want to shed suits? Wow, exactly what
you
do I
can't.
bid?
You can't shed a suit because another card's got that suit on it. That's why I say it takes trick taking. It flips it a little bit on you.
Mhm.
Really kudos for the guy who designed it and talking with him. So yeah, we need to play it some more to see if I know I enjoyed that type of flip sometimes, but I am very concerned knowing that it may be too much for my casual card players.
That's what's so bad. I bought it thinking I can finally teach my family a trick taking game because it'd be something, I like to. I don't know that I can.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
so-
it's basically, you must follow suit. It's the scoring that will just boom, another mind blow.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be coming back to that later. When we cover it again, we'll play it with our game group, see what they think. All right, so we had a long meeting with CGE, the Czech Games Edition, and got to see all the stuff that they have. And they have a lot of stuff coming out this year. The big thing is the relaunch of a lot of their Codenames games. So they've repackaged and redone the original Codenames. And this was interesting in that they took a lot of data from the app.
That's cool.
With the words, and it's like, okay, we can redo the words because now we see how words are used and stuff like that. So they kind of put a new set of words into code names. They did an XL version of the game. It's actually called XXL, which you and I appreciate. Bigger cards, bigger words to see. They did another Codenames pictures. So now's a good time to get back into Codenames with all these new versions and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. Galaxy Trucker, which are so neither you are big Galaxy Trucker fans, but they have a Galaxy Trucker expansion
called Do What,
which has some like player abilities.
Contracts you've got to fill. You've got harder events that occur, like the meteorites that are basically tracking you that can go around the various sides. I mean, and then they've added something that did catch our eye or ability is in Galaxy Trucker, everybody's flipping and trying to build their ship all at one time.
Simultaneously. Yeah, real-time play.
Real-time. Yeah. Now you can take turns. They've added some resource tokens in there that if you spend you'll go around taking turns, spending resource tokens to take the tiles or look at the cards. And that's, it's going to slow down the building a little bit. But for people who didn't like the simultaneous and the chaoticness of it and felt pressured and screwed up their ships, hey, hand raised here, then maybe this will help you enjoy Galaxy Trucker.
Next was a Whisperwood, which is something I thought was kind of interesting.
I like that a lot more than I thought I would when I first. You were just enthralled by the little token for the cat.
Yeah, I know. There was, anyway, I can't explain it until you see it, but there's a way you can turn the cat to make it look like he's looking through a tree.
He folds down and he looks through a tree. It's so cool.
So a tile drafting, tile placement game. Honestly, what it comes down to, and off to the side there. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 different types of tiles, and at the beginning of the game, you shuffle out a scoring for each of the type of tiles. And at the end, after each round, when you're going to build a 4x4, a 5x5, 6x6, and each of the tiles will score differently. Person with most points wins.
Yeah. So when I was understanding, so you would take a tile that has a special figure on it, like a heart. It had a heart. or a wisp. I think that's what they were calling
Yeah, they're
them.
called. Yeah, the game is
Wisp
Wood, so you're drafting wisps.
Wisp. So you draft a wisp, and based on where you take the wisp from, you will then supplement that to fill out a shape that you have to put on your board with tree figures around it. So, for instance, I take a wisp, and on one side of it, it's 4 tiles in the shape of a box. So on my board, I have to put the wisp down, and around that, I have to make it so that it's contained inside of a box using those trees. Or on the other side of it, maybe from a Tetris piece look, it's 4 L's. Or it could maybe be just 3 pieces. So you have to decide. That's what's unique about this is these trees figure, and at the end of the round, the trees go away, and you're just left with the wisp. And now you have to go in and figure out how to play the next round to build up to the 5 grid and then the 6 grid.
So it's hard to explain, but it's one of those things I think is sounding really clever. We like drafting games. We typically like tile placement, so I'm actually interested in this.
I'm
And I
very
wasn't
interested.
before.
Yeah, I was very interested, especially when she talked about how at the end of the round how it clears. I'm like, okay, that's a different challenge for a tile placement game.
Yep. Next is the expansion for SETI coming out, Secret Agencies.
Calm down, people. Calm
Space
down.
Agencies. And SETI's been winning all the awards. So the big thing here, I think, is a brand new alien race.
I like the space contracts, the starting abilities.
Yes.
Instead of everybody having the same thing, you now have more resources with special abilities as various contractors for the space race. And that will add variety to the game versus the generic bland start, and also help kickstart the game, which I think was a problem with the game.
Yep, I agree. But they also said that because of all these new abilities and stuff, they decreased the rounds by 1.
And we felt, I remember it went long, but it was like I didn't ever accomplish everything in the rounds I was given. So decreasing it by 1, interesting.
Yeah, but you're getting more actions or more abilities with these special things. So I know there's a lot of people that are super excited about that. That'll be at Essen. Then we saw 2 quick card games, Umami and Frank Zoo. I think Umami was the one that really interested us, where you're basically trying to collect ingredients to make food, but the ingredients are basically different colors of cards. And for example, one food may be, hey, you need to get a yellow and a green card of different values, and once you do, you've made that recipe. But what's interesting is somebody can steal stuff from you. So if you've made the recipe and somebody gets a yellow and a green card of different values, but they're higher than the ones that you put down, they steal that recipe from you. And once that's done, your actual ingredients can be stolen.
Yes.
So what looks like a cute game is actually very much an attack. Take that game. So we got a copy of that.
Yeah, mean games. We're all for those mean games. Not so much, but yeah. Then from there, we went to Ares Games, and we had a great Roberto.
Well, actually, we went and chilled.
Well, we relaxed in Lucas Oil and did a thing there, but not a whole lot to.
No, there wasn't. But that's usually our getaway place where we go sit in a suite where somebody's host for people, so you can just sit and chill.
But, so Ares Games, Roberto took us around, talked to us about all the games that they have coming out that are currently new. I mean, we got to know Quartermaster General that's came out, the South Front, which is the Battles of the Mediterranean, and very excited because I know a lot of history about that and what was going on at that time, and just how that mimics actual history. I love that about these games.
Also, we got a Turner. We like Martin Wallace. We hadn't played a new Martin Wallace game in quite a while, so now we have that over there to check out. It's a Roman themed game, which attracted me to worker placement style games. So.
And one of their newer games, we got to see the demo. The the new racing game without a track, Dust
and Dirt, Dirt and Dust. Yeah.
It's a rally game.
Yep.
With no track.
Weird,
but it sounded like so much fun.
And sold out.
Done.
And
we were
hot
game here. And they've got a new social game called Perfect Mismatch, where you will see 10 words, and they're spread apart, and you're trying to lead people to guess the word that you're picking from. Think of it like just one.
Just one, yeah. So the person giving clues is, okay, there's 5 words on here. You're going to randomly pick a tile. Okay, it'll tell you which number word that you're given a clue for.
Right. And then you have to then decide, okay, these two words, how close does that word match for like strong versus weak? And then you're sliding these dots and to help people gauge.
Sliding dots, your little tokens.
Yeah,
so there's a little gauge between the two words with 6 tokens, and you adjust the tokens to show whether it's weighted one way or the other. But you did an easy one, strong and weak. The problem is these are random words that are put out like shiny and superstitious. 2 words that have nothing to do with each other. So you have to try to decide, well, is the word I'm describing more shiny or is it more superstitious?
Right. And the people that are playing will then, as you're moving these things, and you can do your own rules from this standpoint, but it's like, okay, I've just moved this one. Does anybody want to take a guess? The sooner you guess, the more points you can score if it's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the aspects of the game that you need to keep up. I'm actually enthralled by this. I mean, 20 to 30 minutes plays 2 to 8. 2 to 8. The board grows. I'm like, this is a game I think I will enjoy doing. I love playing just one.
Yeah. And well, it also kind of reminds me a little bit of Mind Map, because you remember you had the grid and you were comparing between 2 words on a grid. But I think this one will be easier to understand and
right,
teach.
Because people I taught Mind Map to, they're like, I'm not a big fan of this, but I think this will be better. But it was funny. When we were playing the demo, my word was strike, and I interpreted strike as doing a union strike. And they're like, Marty's like, it's a punch.
Like strike somebody.
Strike somebody. So they didn't guess right.
Nope.
It was something completely opposite. I was like, oh, man. There was one other game he talked about that they've got coming out that they were showing off there. And
the German
Wunderwaffen.
Yeah. Which is a World War II themed game. Towards the end of the war, it plays up to 4 players, which I think is going to be the best, where it's 3 versus 1, where somebody's playing Germany, and then somebody's playing Russia, Britain, and the U.S., and it's a race towards Germany while Germany's trying to build a super weapon.
That's right.
But it's not cooperative between the 3 because each of them have their own objectives to try to get the most victory points. So sometimes they may work together, but most of the times they're just trying to win. So I thought it sounded kind of interesting. Oh, he said if you ever played Blitzkrieg, which we've played, which is the 20-minute game, he says it's the idea of placing tiles and doing actions with those tiles. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in. So that's going to come out of Essen.
Right. And there's some negotiation because some of the tiles you can give to other players.
Right. You play a tile, but the other side says, okay, now that you've played this tile, you must give this to another player. And it dictates which player it's going to go to, which nation.
Yeah. And so you can do some allies, but that's some backstabbing. So you got to trust your friends, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Sure.
And so the theme of it near the end of the war, Germany is not going to be about really keeping the Allies out because they're coming regardless. It's can they get to the super weapon in time?
Right. And then everybody else is trying just to basically, hey, if we can take over Berlin first, we kind of dictate the end of the war. So everybody wants to be that person that kind of stakes their claim once the war is over. So.
And there was another one that they showed that we spent only 30 minutes at Aries, but there was a lot of interesting. And I didn't get a picture of this, but he was talking about real quick, but it was unique, this real-time space battle game that you use your phone.
Yeah. Basically, you're laying out these ships, and you just got these square cards that you're going to lay down that has a laser like coming out of one. It points which way the laser is going to shoot, and some of them have shields, and everybody's orienting their cards on the table. And then when everybody's done, you use an app to take a picture of the table, and it tells you the result of the battle. So there are some ships that have numbers. The higher the number, they'll shoot first. And so they resolve the entire battle. It just tells you, okay, this is eliminated, this is eliminated, this is eliminated. Next round.
And what I wasn't understanding is, do you know the initiative of the ships or is it hidden?
I think it was on the card.
See, that's what I wasn't. I mean, why would I not line up a 9 against an 8? I was wondering if it was a hidden thing that the app suddenly resolves and says, hey, here's the ships that have the initiative based randomly. Which is kind of cool, but I don't know.
Then you really couldn't plan at all, it seems like, if you did that.
I know. That's what I was thinking about. But then, of course, you don't have to use an app. They had a funny thing. They had, here's the old analog way to play, and they had a map board with it so that
Yeah.
you could buy us. That was kind of fun. We may have to go back by there and see if maybe we can score us one of those. It seemed wild.
It seemed really cool.
Yeah.
It seemed like a clever way to use the app, where instead of you trying to determine who won the battle, it'll just tell you right off the bat and save a little bit of time. So then we went and ate, like we said before. Then we went and did a demo of Riftbound, the new game that's coming out from. He's rolling his eyes over there. So this is from Riot Games, and this is based on a League of Legends. This is a typical CCG. The thing I thought was unique about it is that instead of trying to knock somebody's health down to 0, there's 2 battlefields in the middle of the board. And when you pay for units using resources, you can deploy those units. And when those units go into a battlefield, if they can conquer the battlefield and there's no enemies there, they're going to get a point. And if they're by themselves at that battlefield at the beginning of the round, they get a point. And the first person to 8 points wins.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I know.
It was fine. I mean, I agree. The 8 points, the control of the battlefields, that was interesting. Don't know anything about deck building, so I can't be too harsh on it. But I mean, at the start of my turn, one of the things I did like is kind of like in Star Wars Unlimited. I mean, I'm controlling the resources. Here, you're flipping over 2 resources that you're going to use to help pay for your cards. And then in order to do that, some of the cards that you use, you actually then take the resources and you have to put them back in the exhausted pool, and you'll eventually get them back. So you can't always have those out there. That was something that I was messing up on. But it was just, I don't know. It's just another one of those games. But, but I know that from the standpoint, you can have 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and have this huge battle. And Lord, they're printing their own play mats to be able to do this. So interesting how it works. We didn't get to see a whole lot of cards, but we did get some demo decks. We'll try it some more.
Yeah.
Is it something I'm going to invest my money in? No, I have Star Wars Unlimited.
Me either. I just wanted to try it out. It was a free event, so why not try it out?
Exactly.
But it's going to be a hot game.
Yeah.
League of Legends players are obsessed over anything League of Legends, so it's going to come out the gate hot. Will it have any longevity? I don't know, but it's going to be a hot game coming out. So
cool art. I'll give them that. Cool art.
The art on the cards is really cool. Then we just got to sit down and play a few games.
We did.
We talked about Lunar Skylines. Right. Up or Down.
Yeah.
From Capstone was actually pretty darn good.
Yeah, it was better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that game, like, what was it, The Mind or something?
Oh, no, I knew it was going to be nothing like that.
Well, I know you're building up, you're building down, but you crushed it. That's why you loved it so much.
Well, yeah, so you're going to have 3 cards in your hand, and they range anywhere from the number of people that we're playing. It was like 1 to 96. And then you have with 4 players, you have 6 cards in the middle of the table set in order, ascending order. And you can take a numbered card from your hand and play it between 2 other cards. So it has to be, you play between 2 cards that's higher than the.
Has to be between the 2 cards and the numbers in the sequence.
Yeah, you can't break up the sequence. And then you can claim the card on the left or the right. And then you create elevators. And when you do, you can have a stack of ascending cards or a stack of descending cards. So you're trying to make as long of a stack you can and make as many of the same colors, because at the end of the game, you're going to count the number of cards of the stack times the number of cards with the same color.
Mm-hmm. And then after you've done that, so the card you pick has to go to the elevator. Then you draw from a deck, either the one that you see on top or blindly draw from another deck. Game ends after both decks are gone, and then you finish out the cards. So you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, in my next play, now the board's going to completely change, but I need to make sure that I'm doing cards that I can go in between, because if I can't, then you're not stuck. You then close out an elevator and it doesn't score a lot of points and you can restart. You can have up to 3 elevators going at once. Yeah, it was a lot better than I expected. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention to anybody else and what they were doing. I was just trying to make sure my elevators could go up or down.
I don't think you can hate draft, because you really only have 3 choices you only have several cards you can even choose from. Because again, the card you play has to between 2 numbers that are out there already on the table. So there may be a card you really want, but you don't have the card that you need to be able to pick it up. So you could try to plan in advance. Sometimes you would try to grab a card that maybe next round you could use in order to get the card that you want.
And there was one other card game we played that a gentleman came from a publisher in India. came all the way to India from India, brought a whole bunch of games. And so we picked up a game called Uninvited Guest at a Wedding. Short name for card game. I know, yeah.
Why is it just Uninvited Wedding Guest?
Anyway, lost in translation. I don't know. So here you are given secret identities. And this is a thing that happens in India. And he was telling us about this because, these weddings are huge.
And people crash it.
People crash it, but you want no evidence that you were there so that they can come after you. Basically, on your turn, there's pictures of people at the thing, and you're trying to remove cards where you could be identified. You're doing that, and at the end of the game, you will score points based on those cards. However, you also need to remove cards where you may not appear because someone can out you and say, hey, I know who you are in these pictures, and they can score points, and they'll knock you out of the game. If you accuse someone and you're wrong, then you're out of the game. So we played that. The only problem we had with it near the end, it was Marty and Ben. They were playing. They could have just kept going because, eventually there are tips that will help speed up the game. But those two could have just kept building up points. But it was closer in points than I expected.
It was. And I kind of just took a shot at the end because I felt like the people that were sitting around just watching us were bored.
Oh, well, yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't know. It was a fine game. I wonder how it would work maybe with fewer people such that there's less downtime. And then as people are knocked out, they don't have to sit around as long.
Yeah. I mean, 8 people trying to figure out who's who and all that. That's just, I'd be almost unmanageable.
It's a clever game, though.
Yeah, it is.
And it is kind of fun
it's his most popular, one of his most popular games.
Well, this character is in every one of these pictures, but maybe they're just trying to psych me out. Mm-hmm. And it's not really them, it's actually somebody else, and they're just soaking up a few negative points to throw people off.
Yeah, your negative point card threw me. I thought I had it, and then I talked myself out of it because of your negative point card. So I knew who. I was like, it's this one. No, it's got to be the other one now because that's not a negative point.
And I got Chevy's just because he was trying to throw people off, but the person he was trying to throw people off with was actually my character.
Yeah.
So I knew it was the other one.
Right. Yeah. So it was very clever. So I'm glad we picked that up. But yeah, that one was interesting. And we'll talk later about it on a future show because we are actually probably going to offer one to one of our listeners.
Yes, we're going to play again with a little bit smaller group. And they gave us one to give away because you can't buy these games in the States.
So why did we pick one up? Help a small publisher.
That's right. And he gave us one to give away to you. So if it sounds like something you're going to be interested in, listen to a future episode when we actually do a full review of the game, and you could win a copy. Well, we were supposed to keep it at 20 minutes, but it's at 43.
Who cares?
So the people listening do.
Fast forward.
That's right. So we got one more day. We got one more segment, basically, we're going to talk about on Saturday. So we got a few more places that we're going to visit. We're going to the Man vs. Meeple event tomorrow night for their big social event. So we'll be hanging out there for a little bit. And it is now 7 minutes till midnight. And Duolingo is telling me that if I don't do this daily Duolingo language lesson,
you lose your streak,
then I'll lose my streak.
Well, sign us off with your language you're learning.
Don't put me on the spotlight.
Konnichiwa.
That's hello.
Oh, that's how you can still sign us off that way. All right, until tomorrow.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
All right, it is Saturday afternoon at Gen Con, the final segment, and we're going to try to speed run through a bunch of the stuff that we saw. But before we get to some games that we saw, we kicked off this morning with a wonderful breakfast from Tupelo Honey.
Yes, we did. Now, you didn't do your normal thing that you've always done with Gen Con. SATURDAY.
It went through my head, but I thought, well,
You're not a creature of habit?
I'm trying not to be.
Okay, very good then. Yeah, Tupelo Honey.
And actually, it was going to be Saturday in the park. Saturday at Gen Con. I think it was the 2nd of August.
Yeah,
just flows.
Yeah, the weather was incredible today, and yet we were stuck in a convention hall. Okay. Anyway.
Tupelo Honey.
Tupelo Honey. Good breakfast.
The first restaurant is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Didn't know that.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And so now they are here. I think it's either Charlotte or Asheville, because I've actually been to both. For some reason, I thought Asheville was the first, but maybe it's not.
It don't matter.
Anyway, it's a Southern style restaurant and with really good grits.
Yes, they had some good grits and omelet. We needed a good breakfast because we were going to skip lunch because we knew we had back-to-back things to get to, and we weren't going to be able to eat, which I'm fine with.
All right. So the first thing that we go to is the reason why we went over to Tupelo Honey is because it was a straight shot to Lucas Oil Field where our first meeting was. A meeting that we weren't exactly that thrilled about. There's a publisher company, Dice Throne.
Yeah, we played. I played Dice Throne. Yeah, everybody is great.
Yep,
I mean, they're good games.
Who is coming out with a new game called Slam Throne, which looks exactly like Pogs.
Mm-hmm.
So the craze from the 90s. Do you remember going to the mall and people actually having Pogs kiosk all over the place selling these things?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't remember. That was in the 90s. That's almost 40 years ago.
I'm just saying. Anyway, they were everywhere. People buying and collecting Pogs. So Slam Throne is a version of Pogs where you have these cardboard discs and basically a poker chip that you use to slam on top of these discs with the goal of trying to flip them over to the other side. Now, they have modified the rules in that each player has a slammer, which is a character that has a health value on it. Your opponent has that many Pogs stacked. For example, if my health is 20, Tony has 20 Pogs stacked. If his health is 18, I have 18 Pogs stacked. We take turns throwing our slammer on top of the Pogs, trying to get flip over to the white side, which is damage.
Right.
The first one to remove all the Pogs wins the game.
And if you catch your chip when you do it, abilities kick in, assuming you hit the Pogs, which, believe it or not, was harder than we imagined, and you have to do damage. So that was kind of interesting. And each character has either a passive or an active ability, and you call that out, and the various rules around that. So, okay, so yeah, all right, well, let's go see what this is about. Don't have a clue what it is. I know what Pogs are. They spread out all over the table. You sit there, and that Pog game can go on forever. This does not.
No, it doesn't. And surprisingly, we were into it.
Oh, yeah.
If you go check out X and Instagram, I posted a little clip of us playing a couple rounds of it. It's one of those things. It's like, all right, this is actually kind of fun. And then I didn't realize that these rules were totally different than what they were in the 90s. And they explained to me what they used to be in the 90s. They didn't have these dual stacks. It was just one single stack sort of deal. And they didn't have abilities. So they didn't have the characters. They didn't have the concept of when the slammer bounces, being able to catch it, which activates an ability. And there's going to be unique slammers with different abilities.
Right. The big thing in the 90s was to collect these Pogs, these various characters, by beating people. And then suddenly you lost your favorite Pog because you kind of like marbles. You know, you gave it up. Gave up your tiger eye. But yeah. So here it's simple fun. That's it.
Yep. And we got like 4 packs of them.
Well, I mean, you know, it does me no good to have a pack and you to have a pack. So that, you know, you're at your house, I'm at my house. It's not like we're going to be able to play over there. So this gave us the ability to play with family. I can just see Donna right now trying to do this. This will be a blast at the house.
So I told them this might be a surprise of Gen Con because it wasn't something I was necessarily looking forward to going to check out, and had an absolute blast playing it.
And they have hopes that it's going to be blister packs hanging in the big retail stores. We'll see. And then they had some other very interesting announcements at Dice Thrones. Be sure to check out, and I believe it was October. There's
going to be a new Kickstarter with some new characters possibly revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye out for that.
Next up, the Lucas Oil Field, you know, it's a football, so we are, over there. And now we've got to hurry our little selves all the way over to Bezier Games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Marty's already done the demo of their big Kickstarter that is coming out first week in September.
Game Makers. Idea of this game is that you're manufacturing board games. And what they have done is they have a stack of 100 and something cards have board game covers on them of all these different actual games that they have. And the idea is you're working in a factory to construct these games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got to sit down and do a demo.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the unique thing about it when you look at it is there's this round circular board in the middle of the table that has a rotating piece on the top, and it's broken into four open windows on this circular piece and then 2 that are closed. And as this rotates over the top of a cardboard piece, it activates different places that you can put your workers. It might be showing, oh, okay, when I place a worker here, I can gain a meeple. But eventually, every turn, that piece is going to rotate, and eventually the meeples will be covered, and you won't have access to those anymore. So the idea is you're placing workers to get meeples, dice, cards, because each of these board games has a certain requirement of things that need to have in it to be able to complete to manufacture it. Once you manufacture it, it goes onto your board shelf. But also, these things that you collect, meeple, dice, cards, etc., can also be used to upgrade your factory to make it run more efficiently and have it's kind of an engine building thing. Actually, it's just a way to make things cheaper and easier to make over the course of time and unlock some victory points, which is the whole goal of the game.
Yeah, price points are going to be around 150, 200 for this thing, but I tell you, for what's in the box, we definitely understand why it's going to be there. I mean, it's amazing. The holders, everything you can imagine is there. And one of the things that really blew us away is the tiebreaker of this game. Jay was kind enough to show us the tiebreaker. And basically, you will run an app, or not an app, to a website that they have. You will scan your collection, your shelf, and whoever has the highest ranked BGG game on there, in case of a tie, they win the game. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was pretty slick. Theme alone, this is going to get a lot of people. It is pricey, $150, like you said, for the regular, $200 for the deluxe. It doesn't do anything unique. Maybe the spinning worker placement selection board is kind of fresh and new, but it also is a table hog. Because your player board is the factory and it's huge, and then you got this huge, basically a Kalex, where you're going to put the cards after you make them onto your Kalex and create your collection.
Right. Now, this is simultaneous with getting resources, things like that, so it'll be fast played. Then Jay moved us into the back room.
Well, hold on, you skipped that really fast. Meaning all of us resolve all of our workers at the exact same time.
Didn't we cover this Thursday night?
I may have mentioned it, no downtime, so it's been 4 nights ago, I don't remember. So Jay takes us into the back room.
Shows us some new card games. We're excited.
There's Rebel Princess,
yes,
which is a version of Hearts. They're coming out with Zombie Princess, which is a version of Spades.
All right, there you go. If you enjoy playing Spades and you now need little special powers, here they come. Get ready for it. So Spades, didn't he say it plays up to 6 players? Pretty sure he did.
I don't remember.
But anyway, so yeah, Zombie Princess. The princesses aren't zombies, but everybody else is. And then there was another one that had this cute little
haunted mouse.
A haunted mouse. He was collecting cheese. It was
I think it was a trick taking?
Card shedding.
That's right, card shedding, and then if you get enough pieces of cheese, you actually would to fill the cheese wheel. You win.
You're the winner. If you shed, think of it like Trivial Pursuit wheel. So 6 pieces maybe, though I think it was to fill it up. But there you go. So the game can go on quite a while depending on the number of players and who fills up their cheese wheel the quickest. So yeah, that was it for Bezier Games at this time.
Head over to see Jillian with Brotherwise Games. Their big thing here, this convention, is Kashmir RPG system that's been launched, and a lot of people have been getting it. Plus, Super Boss Monster. The re-release it just came out on Kickstarter, and it was available here now.
And Mistborn was selling out.
Yes, Mistborn was the deck builder that we covered last year, was also extremely popular. This is the first convention it's been available, and they've been doing a lot of print runs of it.
All right. We talked about that, talked about Super Boss Monster. Stay tuned for Brotherwise Games and some of their announcements after the con.
Yep. Next, it's over to Pandasaurus, where we picked up a couple card games we're going to check out. One is called Beast, which is a cooperative game where you strategically try to place your cards, their numbers, and when you play cards, they must increase in value, and there's different suits on the cards, and every so often throughout this deck as you're drawing and playing cards, a beast will come out of a particular suit and attaches to one of the 3 numbers you're making in your 3-digit number, saying that, oh, by the way, you can no longer play this particular suit at this location.
Unless the suit that the beast shows up on is then it advances through the number.
If the beast shows up on a suit that's been played that matches it, then the beast shifts over one from the ones to the tens. And then if it's the same there, it keeps shifting. So when the beast comes out, you put it in front of you. Everybody knows that, okay, the next time Marty just drew a beast, he has to play that. So everybody else will try to make sure they have that matching suit in play so they can try to shift the monster all the way across the board and get rid of it, or the beast.
Some very interesting mechanics in that game on climbing, because it's a card with a number, and yet you can have a 3-digit. It was very, I was sitting there thinking, why is this going to be interesting? But I'm like, okay, when these beasts come out, because when certain numbers are played, certain other numbers get cleared, it's going to be a timing thing for the beast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a challenge, I think. That's what's going to make this game very intense.
Yep. The other game is Tricky Kids. Now, when I first saw this, I don't know. The art is really kind of kiddish and stuff. And here's the pitch. It's a trick-taking game where when you're dealt cards, you have different suits, 3 different suits, or basically 3 different colors, and you have an erasable marker that you write your own values on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is that the values that you write on your hand of cards must equal 21.
Right. You're dealt 7 cards, and you're going to sit there and you're going to come up with combos based on the suits that you have, which are the 3 colors, and certain in the suits, blue, pink, and yellow. If you have win, then you are going to get points. Yellow gets less points than pink, and pink gets less points than blue.
Well, no, they get the same points. It's 3.
Oh, I thought it was 2 when she showed us. So it's 3, 3, and 1.
It says, unless the box is printed wrong, it's 1, 3, 3.
1, 3, 3. So pink and blue. Okay, I thought it said 2 when we were on the demo there. So maybe. Who knows? We haven't opened it up yet.
I don't know. Well, I'm just saying, so it's like, oh, so this is a little more thinking than you thought, because now you're trying to decide, what do I want to assign what values to? If everybody's going to try to win the blue suit or the pink suit, so maybe I tried to just get a bunch of the yellow suit tricks.
I was sitting there thinking, how am I going to teach others this game, that aren't, you've got to write it. And I'm like, okay, you're holding up your cards and you're having to write it. Nobody look at my cards. I'm thinking logistically about this game when she's talking about it. So, yeah, but I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to see how this plays out with a group and just how quickly you can go through it. I'd hate for people to, the AP. Oh, do I want to make this a 5 or do I make it a 6? You got to make sure it adds up to 21 because I know some cheaters out there.
One other thing, they have calendars for next year.
Yeah.
They have 2026 calendars, and one of them is a Cthulhu calendar, and one of them is a D&D desk calendar, so I had to get one of those too. That was neat. All right, we head over back to Lucas Oil Field and have a Devir meet and greet. It was kind of cool to meet somebody from Devir because we're big fans of their games.
Mm-hmm.
We met the designer of Ace of Spades, who we just covered in our last episode.
You've yet to share that with me, so I'm excited to go back and play it, but he was very excited that you covered it and talked about it. He was very pleased with the reception he is getting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but they didn't really tease a lot of future games or anything like that.
The one that's out here, Red Carpet, which has this gimmick type where you're trying to get the attention of the stars walking down the carpet to score various victory points. And after you play your hand of cards, then you'll take a picture. And
with your phone.
With
you
your
actually
phone.
take a picture. There's a stand to put your phone on, and you take a picture. And if the person is framed right, if there are sponsors in the background, then you get some bonus points and stuff. And the cards that you play before you take the picture will shift people around, turn people around, etc. So you're trying to get the best shot while screwing up somebody else.
That's right, because one of the cards you play is going to say where you are standing behind the ropes to get the picture. So you can't play that too early because then people can really mess you up. But then again, they don't know which actress or actor you're trying to get. A kind of interesting concept. You really don't need to take the picture. You just need to say, okay, I got my picture. Look, here's scored my points. But you do what you need to do.
Then it was over to meet with Danny from Luma Imports.
Yep.
Luma Imports. Thing that we saw there that was new to us was Yokoyama Duel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've covered the base game in the past. This is basically just a 2-player game, worker placement style game that only plays in 40 minutes.
Right. New to us because we didn't know that it had come out previously.
Correct. Yeah, I thought this was a brand new game. It's like, no, this has been out for us. I just didn't know that. So it's a little small box games. You and I like to get these 2-player games to play before everybody else shows up on Thursday night. So we'll check this out.
And then she talked about a trading collectible game called Cookie Run. and the Braverse. Bravoverse. Anyway,
what was it from Korea? Originally released in Korea.
Yeah, they've released 8 series of this.
Yeah, and it's
very hot. The cookies are hot out of the oven. The chocolate is still melting.
It's interesting. So you're trying to destroy each other's cookies. I mean,
the people are cookies.
It seems like a basic, typical TCG. We got a couple starter packs, so we'll give it a shot and see how it is. I mean, it looks like a cute art like Pokemon or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like, okay, why not? We'll give it a try, see what it does, see if there's anything different in this. They're slowly releasing the sets, so they're kind of behind here. They have been selling through them. So you may see it in your local game store called Cookie Run, and it is another TCG.
On our way out of the hall, we actually was able to nab a copy of the Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship, which is one of the hot games from the con. So I can't wait to play that in the future.
I can't either. I mean, I'm interested to see how it's different. I saw Pandemic Legacy System on it. So, yeah.
Oh, it's a legacy game?
Oh, no, maybe it's just Pandemic Series. Pandemic Series. I don't think it's Legacy. Is it? Look on the side of it. There's a big sticker.
Pandemic System.
Pandemic System.
Okay, because I was like, oh, no, I didn't realize it was a legacy game. It's interesting. It's 60 minutes to 150 minutes. That's pretty broad.
It's a co-op game, and so you may be taking you a while. You can either die quickly and the shadow overrun you, probably, or you make it to Mount Doom and destroy the ring. I don't know how far this is going in the series, but if it's the Fellowship, that's usually book 1.
Oh, so each play presents new challenges every time with 24 different objectives. So every time you play, it's going to have different objectives and stuff like that. So probably there's some that are shorter than others.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't wait to try that out. And now we're back in the room.
Yep.
As we're getting ready to try to put things in the suitcase and make sure our suitcases are not over 50 pounds so we can get them on the airplane without having to pay extra.
That's right. That's it for Gen Con. Not much is going to happen tomorrow except get on a plane.
Tonight we are going to the Man vs. Meeple social event.
Yep, pizza party.
Pizza party, so we'll be doing that too. But before we get out of here, you and I were given some homemade jerky.
From our proud sponsor, Game Toppers LLC, where you can get a beautiful table that you could see throughout Gen Con today.
You know what? Let's just go ahead and talk a little about our sponsor right there. That's right. These tables were set up all over Gen Con. Asmodee had them all over the place. These beautiful game toppers that people loved with the insets and the mats. Just we're talking about. Oh, speaking of mats, we had actually talked to the people over at Dice Thrones and said, you know what? Y'all have to reach out to Game Toppers and get custom mats made for these slam thrones because you're supposed to play on a mat.
Right. And hopefully they do. Now, the Pogs come with this itty-bitty mat that they sit on. But, yeah, if you have a mat, definitely play on that. So, yeah, but we'll see. Hopefully they'll reach out to Berkey from that. But, it was good seeing the tables with the legs because I haven't seen the legs physically. Mm-hmm. Those legs are real small. Plenty of leg room.
Yeah, there is. And if you're interested in this, he has as a late Kickstarter pledge going on right now with some really good deals. He was able to cut costs because of the manufacturing process, because he's handling shipping a little bit different where you assemble more at your house. And because of that, he's taking those cost savings and passing it directly on to you. All right, so that is Game Toppers over at LLC.com. Now let's close out this entire thing with the taste buds.
Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. They're just a bunch of.
All right, so we have two types of jerky that we got made in two different smokers. Tony, unfortunately, I don't remember which one was which. One was with the pellet smoker, right?
I believe so, but I mean, either way, they smell really, really good. And I don't know if my palate is able to taste the difference. So sorry, Berkey, I'm telling you this right now. I apologize. I do not have that refined palate that a lot of people do with this stuff.
Well, I'm just excited because it smells great.
All right, so here we go.
Here we go. Oh, wow.
They're so good.
Flavor is so good, man.
His rub is just amazing. His happy mouth rub.
Shh, he doesn't make that.
I know.
So,
But still.
everybody's like, dude, make some more Happy Mouth because we buy that stuff.
Oh, man. Oh, going back in. Here we go.
That is really good. Man, homemade jerky's so good.
Is it venison or pork? I don't even know.
I think it's pork.
I think so.
It doesn't taste wild.
Mm-mm. All right, that's one of them.
Not much to say. It's really, really good.
It's just really good. I mean, I like that back burn that it's got going on. That's really good.
Do you like spicy jerky?
Not overly spicy. I want to taste. I don't need spice to just light me up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I like a little spice. I like some strong spice, but I don't need to be like, oh my gosh. You know, I don't need that crap. All right, number 2.
All right. This tastes more smoky. Wasn't someone on some sort of wood?
Yeah.
This is the wood. This is obviously the wood.
Wow.
No doubt. It does taste different.
Oh man. I don't know what it is, but I taste it, but I can't tell you what kind
It tastes like it was smoked wood.
Like an apple cedar wood or something like that. I don't know. God,
yeah,
good.
you can taste it. There is a difference between the two. Which do you like better, though?
I'm liking the second one better.
I think I do too. I think it has more of that. I like that more smoky, like natural flavor.
Oh man.
Holy cow.
It's too bad I don't live in Minnesota.
Dude,
Man.
start doing Kickstarters for jerky.
I know, really.
Have that as a backer special for your game toppers.
Oh, God. Those are so good.
Order this package and get a pound of jerky.
Oh, man, yeah.
Oh, yep, the smoke one. That's it. That's good.
It. That's it right there. Wow, that's incredible.
All right. Well,
both are amazing. Yeah, I mean, he would put Buc-ee's to shame with this.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
man.
All right. Well, y'all, that's our 2025 Gen Con coverage. Why don't you come out to our Discord channel? Let us know what you were excited about that was coming out at Gen Con. Did you hear anything here that you didn't know about, or did you find out about something you're not interested in playing? Make sure to let us know on Discord.
With that, keep rolling dice
and taking names. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening. So with all the games we talked about in the show, which ones are you most interested in? Let us know over on social media at Dice and Names at Instagram or X, or come join our Discord channel. Let's chat about it.
Hey there, I'm Hugh from Moderation, and if you like today's show, why not check out Roll for Riz, a podcast as ridiculous and cheesy as its title implies. You might have heard of Isekai. You might have heard of Reverse Isekai. But have you heard of D&D Reverse Isekai, where an adventuring party finds themselves in modern-day Japan with their powers completely and utterly intact? It sounds ridiculous, right? But it sounds like you want to listen to it, right? Find Roll for Riz wherever you can get your podcasts.